Hello, I'm Matt Galloway, and this is the Current Podcast.
Elon Musk has been under fire for a flood of sexual deepfake images on his social media platform X. Users are asking Grok, its AI chatbot, to manipulate photos of women by undressing them. This is without their consent, and these images make women appear in skimpy clothes or sexually suggestive poses. People are using Grok to manipulate children's images as well. It has all sparked global outrage and prompted government investigations in several countries. In response, a couple of days ago, X announced it was reining in its chatbot. And now Canada's Privacy Commissioner announced it is investigating. Carmi Levy is a technology analyst and journalist. Carmi's in London, Ontario. Carmi, good morning.
Good morning, Pia. So great to be with you.
It's nice to hear from you again. Let's just start with a quick explainer of what Grok is, how much it's being used.
So if you've ever used ChatGPT or Google's Gemini, basically the most popular chat bots, AI models out there, Grok is the equivalent to that. It comes from a company called XAI, which is owned by Elon Musk. Unlike those other products, it's also built into a social media platform. When you are in X, formerly Twitter, you can actually call on Grok by tagging it and using it directly from within your X account. So it kind of incorporates a social media component to it as well, which means that, when you share something from it, things can go viral much more easily than they can from other platforms. Also separating it out from the competing platforms is it does not have the same guardrails or protections that they do. Elon Musk has marketed it very specifically as what he calls anti-woke, so as not to interfere with users' freedom of expression. He's rather proud of that.
So we'll talk in just a sec about what X has done to mitigate what it had been allowing to be done. But just briefly again, can you tell us what Grok was allowing images to be manipulated? Like, what were we seeing?
Yeah, so we were seeing that they call them sexualized images or nudified images. And so what was happening was just regular X users, so your average people, could be me, could be my kids. They were posting images to X of themselves innocuously. And then complete strangers were grabbing those images off of their feeds, running them through Grok, sexualizing them, in some cases putting bikinis on them or removing clothing, and then sharing them within their own feeds, at which point many of them went viral, and the victims at that point became aware of it. And so you post something to a public feed, you have no control over what happens, and next thing you know, you're essentially being deepfaked, and deepfake porn well beyond your control.
Musk's initial reaction was to post a toaster in a bikini. What does that say to you about how seriously he was taking the backlash?
He doesn't take it seriously, and we've seen this before. This isn't the first controversy involving Grok, and there have been many just by virtue of its very design. And just about every time that it happens, he mocks the victims. He goes online and he's rather proud of the fact that this is the technology that he's deployed, that it doesn't have those limitations, so you can say and do whatever you want. And so it takes a bad situation because the architecture allows this to happen in the first place, makes it worse because now the platform not only isn't stopping it from happening, but the guy who founded the platform is actually encouraging it and bringing more into the fold. So
the images are already out there. They're out there. But Musk has backtracked in some ways. He posted on X that X has, quote, implemented technological measures to prevent the Grok account from allowing the editing of images of real people in revealing clothing, such as bikinis. Will this move be enough to stop the problem?
Probably not, because we've seen before whenever they put a protection in place to stop Grok from misbehaving, the workarounds, it usually takes just a few hours for people to find workarounds. The basic architecture is such that it's easier to work around those limitations on Grok than it is on competing platforms. And so I would expect that this content would continue to flow. And let's keep in mind that this change was only made grudgingly after the first response to this controversy was to put this capability behind a paywall. You had to be a subscriber with the blue check mark for $8 a month in order to access this capability. Now he's saying that they won't be able to generate them in the first place. So this isn't something that they wanted to do. They had to do it to quell the controversy. And even then, I would expect there to still be a trickle of these assets showing up in the weeks to come.
Can we talk about Canada's response to this? Last week, Evan Solomon, Canada's Minister of AI and Digital Innovation, said that deepfake sexual abuse is violence. no plans to ban X in Canada. And then yesterday, Carmi, Canada's Privacy Commissioner announced that he is investigating what should the government be doing and what can the Privacy Commissioner do?
Both the government and the privacy commissioner should be growing a backbone, because what we're telegraphing to this organization as well as its owner is that, well, we really don't take this all that seriously. We'll launch an investigation. It'll take a few months for it to happen. By then, everyone will have forgotten about it before the next controversy flares. And so, if we call it analysis paralysis. We essentially get ourselves into a process where we create a bureaucratic oversight of a problem, but we don't actually resolve it. It just shows that we're doing something, check a box, move on. Whereas other countries like Malaysia and Indonesia have gone ahead and just very rapidly banned the platform. And let's be clear, bans don't work, and they're certainly not sustainable in the long run. And they won't solve this problem. However, it sends a message to the company: we take this seriously. You will be punished, and it's going to cost you. And the European Union has told X to freeze its data related to this event because it wants it to use in its investigation, and it also has an AI law on the books that includes shutting the entire platform down permanently in that jurisdiction. So other organizations, other countries, other jurisdictions, they're serious about this. Canada, we say a couple things, get a couple of headlines, and then move on, and nothing ever really changes. As always, we lag the rest of the world.
Okay, what do you think the Canadian government should do then?
I think we should be moving a little bit faster on legislation. We had an AI and Data Act in the pipeline early last year before the federal election was called, and it died on the docket.
This is the Online Harms Act that was there and then died?
Exactly. There was the Online Harms Act, and there was also the AI and Data Act, and together those would have provided some kind of protection to Canadians against this kind of thing. We have reintroduced Bill C-16, the Protecting Victims Act, and that will specifically criminalize non-consensual, sexualized deepfake images. But at the same time, it doesn't hold platforms like X or XAI accountable for what happens on their technologies. So we've moved one step ahead, and we've moved one step back, and of course, Bill C-16 is still in House of Commons second reading. It's going to take a while until this is actually an enforceable law. So other countries have laws already on the books. They're enforcing them. They're using them in the day-to-day, and they're leveraging them now. And Canada's still years behind.
Grok is, in some ways, Carmi, a sort of unique issue example. Elon Musk is, also a unique character in all of this. But there's lots of generative AI technology out there that is being launched, and with very few, if any, guardrails. What really concerns you?
What concerns me is our unwillingness to dig a little bit deeper. And so the solution here isn't to stop these tools from being released. This is just where the industry is going. Everything is going AI. And unfortunately, we know that architecturally, this is what happens when you deploy these tools. They are able to be misused in this way. And so, you're not going to stuff Pandora back in the box. However, we need to become better educated as individuals about our responsibility to reduce our digital footprint, to protect our digital interests, to ensure that content that we share, it's exposed to a minimum of risk when we do share it. And at the same time, that we take the time to verify, validate content, make sure that we know where it's coming from, we know its source, and we don't actually add fuel to the fire by sharing it within our networks. I see so many of us who look at content but don't ask, is this AI? Is this questionable? Is this a deepfake? And we simply share it without reporting it, without raising a flag, without raising the issue. We need to be part of the solution as consumers of this content as well.
Carmi, it's always so good to hear from you. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Really appreciate being with you. Thanks so much, Pia.
Bye-bye. Carmi Levy is a technology analyst and journalist in London, Ontario.
This has been The Current Podcast. You can hear our show Monday to Friday on CBC Radio 1 at 8:30 a.m. in all time zones. Or you can also listen online at cbc.ca/thecurrent or on the CBC Listen app or wherever you get your podcasts. My name is Matt Galloway. Thanks for listening.